I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, May the 27th, 2015. After a month of quiet, a rocket was fired from Gaza into southern Israel last night. Sirens went off in the city of Ashdod and the surrounding area just after 9 p.m. local time, with a rocket confirmed having landed near neighboring Gan Yavne. There was no damage reported. However, a 15-year-old girl was treated for anxiety. In response to the rocket fire, Israel's Air Force struck 4 Hamas and Islamic Jihad terror infrastructure targets in southern Gaza. Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon warned that, quote, if there is no calm in Israel, the Gaza Strip will pay a heavy price for it. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would do everything it needed to preserve the quiet achieved through this past summer's Operation Protective Edge. Yesterday's rocket was the first fired at Israel in just over a month. If you recall, on April the 24th, a rocket was fired from Gaza at the Sderot area. It exploded in an open field with no damage or injury. And staying with Netanyahu, the Prime Minister today met with visiting U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. The South Carolina senator is in the country for discussions on the U.S.-Israel bilateral relationship and security challenges that Israel faces. Yesterday, Netanyahu met with Republican Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, telling him that Israel welcomed the bipartisan partnership with the United States. Netanyahu also once again warned of what he calls a very bad deal between world powers and Iran and urged the senator to apply pressure to avoid the deal. And the Prime Minister spoke over the weekend with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry to express his appreciation to Kerry and to President Barack Obama for the stance the U.S. took at a recent United Nations conference. Netanyahu's office wrote on their Facebook page that at the review conference of the parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, which concluded at the UN on Friday, the U.S. kept its commitment to Israel by preventing a Middle East resolution that would single out Israel and ignore its security interests. And it was just announced that Secretary of State Kerry will address the American Jewish Committee's Global Forum 2015, which runs June the 7th through the 9th in Washington, D.C. Kerry will speak on Monday, June the 8th. Amnesty International released a report today on possible war crimes committed by terror group Hamas during the summer of 2014's Gaza war with Israel, saying the organization used the conflict to, quote, settle scores with rival Palestinians, executing at least 23 Palestinians accused of, quote, collaborating with Israel. A German man who led anti-Zionist chants at a protest in Essen, Germany last summer lost his appeal on his earlier conviction of incitement to hatred. On July the 18th of 2014, during Israel's Operation Protective Edge in Gaza, a video of a hostile anti-Israel protest shows Taylan Khan, a German born to a Turkish family, leading a chant of death and hate to the Zionists. Khan told a court back in January that his chants were purely political and that he had, quote, nothing against Jews, just against Zionists. He was found guilty and appealed. A German blog reported yesterday that an appeals court in Essen upheld the January verdict, where Judge Gari Sastry had said that calling for death and hate to Zionists was tantamount to anti-Semitism. She was quoted at the time by German paper Die Welt, saying Zionist is the language of anti-Semites, the code for Jew. Sastry sentenced Khan to 3 months probation. The appeals court affirmed that verdict and extended the probation to 10 months. Founder and president of German pro-Israel media watchdog Honestly Concerned, Sasha Stosky, called the decision a milestone. An interfaith service was held this past Friday at Pride of Lynn Cemetery in Lynn, Massachusetts, at the site of a Holocaust memorial there that was found desecrated earlier last week. Pieces of raw pork were discovered at the stone base of the memorial last Tuesday. Police are investigating the incident as a hate crime. Hundreds gathered on Friday, Jews, Christians, and Muslims, to show their outrage. Executive Director of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Boston, Jeremy Burton, said all of us should live in freedom and respect and tolerance and reject those who seek to divide us from one another. The Anti-Defamation League pledged a $1,500 reward to anyone who provides information that leads to an arrest and conviction of whoever is found responsible. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Wednesday, May the 27th. At 8 o'clock, Art Green, founding dean and rector of the Hebrew College Rabbinical School, shares his thoughts on the state of Judaism today from Limud 2015. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with rabbi and author Charles Sherman, who talks about how his son survived serious brainstem damage. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, May the 27th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.